So one of the pleasures in wood turning is to see the fine shavings coming off as you're making your final finishing cuts. And the scraper is one of the tools that assist in doing that final work. So in this video, I'll be introducing you to the scraper. The scraper is a finishing tool, and here are some examples. A round nose scraper, which is the more common style used for your finishing work. This one is called an inboard scraper because the tip of the tool is rounded around the edge to allow you to scrape right up the sides of a vessel. Here we have a more specialist tool in a square nose scraper, often used for the bottoms of jewellery boxes, etc. One of the other things about scrapers is, because you're not going to be rubbing the bevel, the angle across the face of the tool is quite steep to help support the cutting edge by having lots of metal behind that cutting edge. So with the scraper, it can be presented in a number of different ways. The technique that I use is like this. I'll put my finger against the tool rest, grab the tool with two fingers from the top, so I'm pulling it down onto the tool rest. The handle of the tool is raised above centre, and the tool rest height is set so that the tool is touching the centre of the lathe. The reason I do it like this is that I can have good control to use my fingers to sweep across the bottom of the bowl, as distinct from an overhand grip which is commonly used, which not only can impede the visibility of where I am, but doesn't seem to give me that same sweeping action. Unless it's something like a jewellery box, you never put a flat bottom onto the vessel. And by holding my tool in this direction and holding my rear hand in the centre of the lathe, I'm getting a natural arc across the bottom of the vessel. Some people can have trouble with that, but it's still okay therefore to switch to the overhand, but I still suggest you anchor your wrist to the tool rest and you can still do that pull action. Let's do some cuts and see it in action. Lathe will start at a lower speed, so now I can turn it up and present the tool in to the centre and just gently sweep it across. My rear hand is staying where it should be. And here are those fine shavings I'm getting off the tool to create those sort of finishing cuts. So we're saying that a scraper is a finishing tool. You can still shape with a scraper though. But just be careful, you don't be taking fine cuts all the time. Let's see if we can reshape the rim of this a little bit to get more of a deeper curve on it. I'm still getting those fine shavings. Let's try the inboard scraper that I mentioned earlier. This is a lot more metal in this tool. It would allow me on a deeper vessel to get further away from the tool rest because I have all this thick metal to support the cutting edge without vibration. But because it's got the shape on the edge of it up the side, it can allow me to still hold the tool in its normal orientation and cut the side of a vessel instead of having to turn the tool a long way away from my body. So you can see that here I'm actually using this part of the tool. You can see where the shavings have been coming off. So I am able to use all this cutting edge to help produce the smooth transition up the side of the vessel. So now using my fingers, I can feel that I have a nice smooth curve coming across the bottom and up the side of the vessels. Fingers are very good feelers for these sorts of things, but of course make sure the lathe is stopped before you start running your fingers inside the vessel. Thank you for watching. Happy and safe turning. In the next video, we'll talk about sanding and finishing.